Welcome back to Watching Film and Varnadore Films. I am Seth Varnadore. I'm a former high school and college football coach. Now I break down film here on YouTube for Alligator Army with a specific emphasis on the Florida Gators. Now this is probably not going to be quite as extensive as normal. I've decided to jump in here and do this breakdown in between filling sandbags and fighting people in the store for bottles of water. So probably a little bit quicker than normal, but I did want to get something out on some of the plays I enjoyed watching and maybe some of the smaller scheme things that I haven't seen people talk about too much. And yes, we'll get into some of the defensive breakdowns, but those are not super complicated, but we'll go over them nonetheless. We'll start here on the defensive side of the ball, and then we'll get to the offense. So let's go ahead and start here. This was one of the kind of stories of the game is Florida did a really poor job kind of maintaining rush lanes and allowed Hendon Hooker to really get a ton of yards escaping. If you remember, I think it was 2012 when Florida played against Texas A&M. Johnny Manziel, first half, Florida did not maintain rush lanes, and he killed them running the ball. Second half, they really kind of hunkered down and adjusted how they rushed him, and that really took away a lot of his run game. I was hoping, coming to the game, Florida would have a similar plan to back then to kind of limit Hendon Hooker's. Don't open up the floodgates for him. Don't open up the rush lanes. I think a few times you see here they were putting 3 over 2, and it seemed like they had the backers kind of hugging up on the back. So if the back stayed in protection, he would kind of hug up on him, or sometimes could kind of come once he saw him in protection. He could trigger and blitz, but that got them caught a few times. It looks like, and there's an open rush lane for Hendon Hooker to take care of. So coming into the game, if you watch the preview, I said Tennessee does a great job kind of getting you where you have to win one-on-ones, but it does take time sometimes for these routes to develop when they want to push the ball deeper downfield. So you could get pressure. Florida is able to do that a couple times. You see here, rush, occupying, kind of rushing out, occupying the guards and tackles on either side. Blitz the backer to eat up the center. Wrap around. The back comes here to help. And now you're wrapping around to get a hit on the quarterback. Right, and that pressure forces the ball high, forces an incompletion, even though, right, technically Tennessee wins the rep right here in terms of pass coverage. But you force a high throw, incomplete. Again, I thought this was a big key. Tennessee was able to get a few explosive plays with just kind of Florida not maintaining rush lane integrity. Just getting out of rush lanes. Nobody's just rushing wide upfield, opening the gate for them. Then a great play right here by Ventrell Miller. Punching at the ball. The slow-mo of this was great. You could see him wind up, punch at the ball just like you teach. Great job by Florida. That was one of the few stops on the day, and this is a tough offense to stop, so that was not an unexpected issue. So this is just this is one total bust, right? Total miscommunication, I'd imagine. This is an easy read for the quarterback. If they're teaching, I motion this guy out. If nobody comes with him, well, now I've got 2 for 2 right there. That's an easy throw all day. I don't know if they're supposed to, if he's supposed to come out and match that, right? If he kind of splits the difference, even he's able to make that play there. He can force the ball back inside, but he stays in the box the whole time, not able to get it, and you pick up an easy first down here if you're Tennessee. That's too easy. Motion again kind of reared its ugly head for Florida. Here's one where it looks like they see the back and the tight end, or the back and the H-back stay in protection, and they trigger. I don't think it's a delayed call. I think if they kind of see those guys stay in the protection here, they can go, right? So they got eyes on these two, I would guess, and then once these guys stay in the protection, now I can go. And a great job here by James getting there. 3rd and 7. This is kind of, you got to win the one-on-ones, hope you can generate pressure. Interesting wrinkle here. Almost comes up big later. They showed early that the back was coming up for the A-gap blitz, right? The one we looked at a couple plays back where Ventrell Miller didn't quite get there, but forced an incompletion. So they showed early the back is going to step up for this A-gap pressure. So what does Florida do? They put their best pass rusher, Brenton Cox, at middle linebacker and almost guarantee that you're going to get him on a back. The back does a good job and cuts him, but just schematically, you've generated a way to get your best rusher on the back in pass protection. And generating those type of matchups will usually generate positive results. Here, you get a little commotion at Hendon Hooker's feet. The ball's a little behind. Florida DB is able to come and make a play on it. All right, here we go. Simple motion. All this is trying to make you do is re-identify 1 and 2. So right here, if it's man-to-man, I got 1. And it looks like man-to-man. It's hard to tell exactly, but it looks like man-to-man. It certainly does. I've got 2. Well, now, new number 1, new number 2. So new number 1, new number 2. So if I've got 1, I've got 2, right? The motion, they readjust. I'm not quite sure what he's looking at there. If it is truly man, and it certainly looks from the kind of the sky angle here that it was man coverage. It looked like cover 1. But it's hard to tell exactly on that. But it certainly looks like man coverage. And if it is, that's a total bust. Here's just a kind of a good play by Tennessee here for the touchdown. Start with the back on this side, and then on the snap, bring him here. He becomes the lead blocker. So kind of post-snap, messing with leverage a little bit. But I'm not sure, like, you could probably attack this right now. Attack that thing. The backer's coming over the top. You got a backer here. Attack this thing. Compress the space a little bit. Don't wait. I'm not sure why he's waiting. I mean, technically, I guess he could probably leak to the flat or something, but this looks like a kind of a dedicated ball carrier here. So, and then you still have a chance to make the play there. You just kind of trip over your own feet. Good cut by Hooker for the touchdown. I put this one on here because you got 3 young guys making a play, and this is how you take on the first puller in a counter scheme. Look at that. Blow that thing up. I believe that's Justice Boone. McClellan runs it down from the backside. You got Scooby Williams there and your talented freshman getting downhill. Watch how he kind of recognizes this. I like to see this from a young guy. It's run. The ball's out of the quarterback's hands. Some of the older guys, it seems like they're waiting to trigger. They're kind of playing slow. He just triggers. The ball bounces out here, and he's there to help make the play right there. Really good view of it for those guys. So really good look for it right there. Third and 5. This is what we talked about in the preview. You're going to have to win one-on-ones, right? So Florida decides to bring pressure again. Gets picked up. But just an easy completion right here. Pretty good job right there. But this is basically from an odd split a little bit. They're stacked. But this is basically like a drive concept where you're trying to get somebody to jump underneath, hit the dig behind it. Or if they play zone and fall back, you can hit the shallow coming across, right? Right there, jumps on the shallow. So it opens a window back here. You see win by the Tennessee receiver. Easy conversion. Good job here on the blitz and way to keep fighting by Bernie. That same kind of bringing two guys in the A gap. You're making the back and the center have to sort this out. And both times, the back's kind of going to the same side as the center. You're getting good push right there. The back gets back over late. Bernie, great job just throwing him and getting in on the play right there. Really, really good job. 4th and 8, but it's always nice to force a turnover, pick up a few extra yards there. And then looking at it from this angle, right, they're bringing 2 here, but you're actually going to drop him underneath. So if they would have tried the same shallow dig right here, you actually drop this guy underneath the shallow, and this safety is kind of keying down from top down here. So you see him dropping back, takes this throw away, and he's kind of driving on as it breaks in, he's kind of driving on this, and now he's got eyes on him, and as soon as he kind of breaks down, he drives on it. Same idea as the run play. I think it's the same safety here. Same idea as the run play. He sees it and he triggers. So that's why Hooker's kind of slow to bring it down, and you're able to get there with the pressure. So this is one you just got to have. Like, it's 3rd and 10. Your coach has called a timeout. He's put a lot of trust in you. You dial this up where you get through free. You got to make that play. Good play by Hooker to escape. Safety's kind of key in number 3 here, looks like, where if he comes across, he's going to – so it could be like a triangle coverage or something, just where he's looking back at number 3 and he's going to relate to him. He goes out to number 2. So as soon as he sees 3 hooking up, he's coming here. Just missed him right there in the backfield. And you see the safety gets there just a hair short or a hair late. But that's a play you got to make in the backfield right there. You dial it up, get you that. And then that leads to this, and this is one you just got to tip your cap. This is just straight man coverage. The guy wins. Quarterback makes a great throw, and then you get an unbelievable catch. So you just got to tip your cap on that one. There's not much you can do. You can obviously play man coverage a little bit better, but you're not going to win every single time. And this is just a great throw and catch, and that happens because, as we like to say, the other team has guys on scholarship too. So this is what you got to be careful of. This was I'm not quite sure what you want to do here defensively, what the plan is. These two do a pretty good job kind of exchanging responsibilities, I think. But man, this is a light box. As in, you got a 4-man box with a guy that can run. That is not a winning recipe, in my opinion. So these guys do a pretty good job. He doesn't run with this guy. He turns and runs with him. But now he's got his back turned. Looks like they're kind of 3 over 2 here. But now you've got nobody in the box. So this is, if you don't maintain those rush lanes here, there's nobody left. Thank you very much. Let's get down to the goal line. End up scoring a touchdown there. And this one, another bust here. I don't know. This is another one where I'm not quite sure exactly what the coverage is here. We've looked. They've showed a lot of 3 over 2 look, right? I'm not sure if this is supposed to be 3 over 2, right? Where he's kind of supposed to sit here. He's supposed to sit on this and pass things off, or if they're playing cover 1, right? Because he's kind of eyes on him. You got one high safety. It looks like man coverage for everybody, but then I don't know how you don't. There's no motion here. This is 1, I'm 1. This is 2, I'm 2. This is 3, I'm 3. So I'm not real sure what the confusion is here, but he sits like he's expecting the corner to stay here, and up top you see kind of the same thing. He's getting back to the same area, right? But he didn't have anybody come out to his side. So I'm really not quite sure what happened there. If it's man coverage, that's just a big-time bust. All right, here it is from kind of the sky view. Same idea. Big-time bust, it looks like. This one you got to, right? And then you got to, as you close this pocket right here, you got to keep him in there. This is a play you got to make when you got him back there like that. And then right here, right, force him back inside. Don't let him cut outside. Force him back in. If you force him to cut in there, you can close the umbrella. It's still a pretty big gain, but it's probably an 8 or 9 yard gain instead of letting him cut outside and pick up a huge chunk of yards. So just little things. Gotta keep fixing those. Then here's the other one. This is another one that's kind of hard, difficult to tell from here. With the stack, you could very well be paying 3 deep here. He's kind of turning and running. You could very well be playing 3 deep. And he could be playing if it's cover 3, right? And he's deep third. That's on the corner. I don't know why. I would imagine he's the flat player though, so I don't know why he doesn't expand with this. And if it's man over there, then obviously, right, that would be the man coverage if it's man. But this one's kind of hard. This is hard, a little difficult to tell for sure. But there's not really anybody kind of playing. It looks like they're spot dropping, right? These guys look like they're dropping to a spot. He's not really kind of having a ton of eyes on the man there. He could be playing. He's playing here, but he could be playing the flat as well. He's playing off and looks like deep third. Now he's kind of coming over the top here, this side. So I'm really not quite sure. It could even be. It doesn't seem likely. But probably not. I wouldn't imagine he's got to get all the way over deep half, and they're not dropping him to deep third. It could, he could be on deep third. He could be dropping to middle third, and he's got the other third. I don't think that's what it is. But it's one of those where you bust so bad you're not quite sure whose fault it is, and that's not great. But Napier said in his presser there was it seemed to be one guy's fault a lot. 10 guys were doing the right thing, one guy was doing the wrong thing. But that one, it's hard to tell who it was. So hopefully that's something you can get fixed. The pace of Tennessee and the width of Tennessee in terms of being from sideline to sideline with their receivers really exposes things in defenses. And Florida's not going to be the last defense they do that to. They do that to a lot of people. But you really got to be on your game and really understand what's going on to stop them. So let's get to the offense. A lot more good stuff on that side of the ball. We'll start with the first play. I thought this showed a good understanding of how teams are going to play you. Right? They're going to load up the box. RPO that thing. Great job, great throw. Great first play. So, right, also kind of gives you an idea how Tennessee's going to play. They match up the corner, it looks like, on shorter in the slot. I talked about I was on Getting Swamped podcast, and we talked about maybe using some motion and shifting early to give you a look at how they're going to play. This gives you a look right here. RPO, that's a great job expecting kind of how they're going to play you. They're going to be top down playing for the run. Third down, again, we're not going to do every offensive play, just kind of a few key ones and ones I think are and can kind of show you some stuff. I thought this was nice to see, right? Third and long, they drop out. Go pick up what you can. Get it down to a 4th and 1. Your coach goes for it. You pick it up. 2nd and 7. I thought this was interesting. First of all, it's nice that you kind of got the bluff. So he bluffs him. Reading here. Gets bluffed. And then they also kind of crossed it up here. I don't know if this was intentional or just kind of worked out serendipitously. He's coming in here almost like push cracking, and he ends up getting the corner. So it's kind of like a cross action here. And you get a nice running lane one-on-one with the safety. So really interesting. I don't know if that's a schematic change-up to where they want him inside and so he can kick him out. If it is, I like it. If it just kind of happened accidentally, maybe put that in. It's pretty cool looking. All right, so last week you got smash against USF where we got the hitch in the corner. So a great change up to it is what you're trying to do is you're trying to get the flat and you're trying to get the corner. However you get to those is kind of up to you. You can do it different ways, but how they do it this week a few times is run like a pivot, right? So I'll run at this guy and I hold him here. So watch the guy that comes down in the alley here. He's going to get held. He's going to stay in there, and now you get, as he comes back out, you create separation. Then good job after the catch here, picking up a big play on first down. So just a little change up to what you did the week before. And you'll see it later even better on a rollout. So I know a lot of people are like, why do we keep doing this kind of motion? Why is this motion happening? All right. Watch the safeties. Watch how they rotate with the motion. He rotates here. He rotates back. You're going to run it right kind of where the safety vacated. Great cut. Good job getting on the backside. And again, picking up a pretty good run here. And now, obviously, when you see this 3rd and 9 run, you know, okay, they're 4-down territory. I thought this play wasn't bad here. I have a hot take on Anthony Richardson that I don't think I've heard anywhere. I think he's an unbelievable athlete. That's not a hot take. The hot take is I don't think he's a great runner in terms of vision and a ton of feel for running schemes. I haven't seen enough, but that's my hot take. A little bit more patience from him, and I think this is an easy first down conversion. Again, motion takes himself out. You get a little bit of hesitation here. Anytime you're bringing this back across on a split zone action, to me, I'm thinking back door. I'm thinking right here is where I want to hit it. And I'll kind of slow play it to get there. So right here, you get so into the line of scrimmage, right? If I can kind of slow it down a little bit and feel it, there it is. And you'll kind of see it from the other angle. Right, that's where it is right there. Now you can see when we flip it to the back here, you can kind of see, I think, what he's seeing. And he's thinking I can just get right up in there. And if the guard gets off of there, you do have a decent play. And I think he might have been able to stay in it. All right, if you stay in it and hope he gets off there, get your head down and get 2. But this is kind of where it's at, too, back here. And you'll see later Naquan Wright has a run on the same kind of scheme. Where if you can kind of slowly, there's the back door right there. You get the pursuit over the top, get that split zone action coming back, and you can kind of cut it back. But, alas, it didn't work. Here's a great look at the pivot on the smash route. Watch how it holds him. Right, he comes at him. He holds right here, and now I'm breaking back out. So look at the separation I can create on this. So instead of running a hitch, right, I could get the same spot running a hitch. Right, I can just run a hitch, and I'll be in the same spot. But what's he do? After he reroutes him, he flies out to the hitch, and that space is compressed. Right? So he'd be right here, and now if the hitch is here, he's flying out to the hitch. But what's he doing now? Now he's chasing. Now I got all this room out here to throw it. And basically a race to the sideline. I give my guy who's faster a head start. So good design. I think it makes it easier on the quarterback as well. Not as much risk in throwing that thing out there, right? The one he got housed for a pick six is a hitch out there. This is kind of get you to the same place without having to do it. So this is a great little change up here. Again, motion. You get eyes up here. They've shown some, and they even do it this game, where they got deep crosser, like almost 2 deep crossers, right? 2 deep crossers. They've showed that on film a ton. So what's the change up to it? Well, I make it look like I'm going to run a deep crosser, then it's a deep corner. Same thing, deep cross, or more shallow crosser, but back out. And with the motion, it just turns into a flood concept, which Florida and Napier love. So the quarterback knows how to read it easily because he's already read it in a bunch of different other concepts. Great route by Pearsall. Then you want to talk about touch. That's pretty good right there. Also, had this one too. And he hits that one later for a big gain, but he had that one too. Both guys getting open. Pretty well designed here, right? You see how Pearsall sells this like I'm running the crosser. Same thing, sells the crosser. He's trying to catch him. Bang, break out of the corner, break out of the corner. The motion, which everyone wonders why are they doing that, holds him. And this is kind of 3 layers, right? 1, 2, 3. Short, medium, deep. Oh, Lord, that 3. And then a great ball, great catch by Pearsall there. All right, so this is one where, right, we talked about Hendon Hooker earlier in a similar concept where he motions out and he leaves. You keep it. If he stays, like Florida's defender stayed, you throw it out there, right? So the motion's happening. He leaves. He decides to take the one-on-one. That's fine. I think you're fine him taking the one-on-one. Good job. He looks here first to hold the safety. But I think there was an opportunity in the run game, which is the other part of this, right? The third part is him running. Now, Tennessee does a good job here playing a game, trying to get, Florida tries to run a quarterback draw or something. But if he's able to kind of take this thing outside, there's obviously room to run out there. Now, hindsight's obviously 50-50, but he's here, he bounces it, probably picks up the first down there. Well, this isn't a bad decision to take the one-on-one. You see him take it later for a really big play. All right, later on, 4th and 1. Good call here. Henderson gets walloped. Great job by Richardson. That looked a lot more like something we saw against Utah. Good job avoiding this play. Get a guy open. You actually had, I think you had 3 levels. You had all 3 levels open. It was pretty much the same idea in terms of the 3 levels. But you have him on a deep corner. You got a crosser. And then you got the flat. So pretty similar read for Richardson in terms of deep, medium, low. But you just need one, puts it on him for the first down. And then, right, your coach goes for it on 4th down. You reward him the very next play. Great job moving in the pocket. This looks like almost like a dagger concept, I think, where you're going to have one running deep down the middle. I think they're hoping they get Tampa too, and that's what it looks like here, where he's turning and running the pipe. Then it looks like you would have a dig here coming behind it into all this space right here. So as he goes here, safety or the linebacker takes him. I believe that's Henderson coming underneath. It's hard to tell. Coming underneath into all this space right here. But as he sees Richardson step up, I think he takes off too. Because you see him kind of come out of it, and I doubt they're running right behind each other like that. Great play by Richardson, kind of seeing Zipper in between the kind of in the hole in the zone there. Then awesome run after catch, obviously. This is one, don't hook it up, but you can see the design here. Shallow, medium, there's your deep guy. Same idea for the quarterback, same reads, right? And wait till you see the back view. If you're able to get a little bit more time here for Richardson, he probably hits Zipper right here. He's running up down the sideline for another pretty big play. Here it is from the back view. If he could just get a little more time here. This thing's breaking open as you got the post or go over the top, taking the top off. The shallow came across. And then if he flies too far underneath it, you have Pearsall coming back on the dig back here. So another good concept. Basically, why cross? Right? And Florida gets to Y cross on a big fourth down conversion later. So he runs the shallow, which is the same thing as this guy running the 5-yard out. He's the vertical guy. He's the Y cross, and then the dig back behind it. So a little air raid play, not a high school play, a little Mike Leach, Hal Mummy air raid. See it in the NFL all the time. Ohio State runs it a ton. 3rd and 6. Little stick play. Again, this is a concept you see all over the place. Air raid team runs it. Run it. You see it everywhere. Vertical, flat, stick. Easy money for a first down. This is another one. It's kind of with the jet motion and this coming out, kicking out the end man. I'm thinking the run's backside here. It's tough, right? You want to get downhill and just get the yards, but if you can if you can be a little more patient, I think it hits here. But not particularly greatly blocked up. But I think there's a little seam right there that he might have been able to get through. But 3rd and 2, you're trying to get downhill. I understand it. But that's something, if he could see it better, he could become really dangerous as a runner. And he's already pretty dangerous. 1st and 10 here. This is one I wanted to put on here just because, this is something they saw. All right, they motion him here. The corner's playing pretty much sticking on shorter here. Motion brings the safeties down. You see him kind of telling him to come down, right? And he's pointing across here to the tight end. The motion across. They're trying to figure out, so what are they going to do? Well, he's going to run more of a shallow crosser, and then you got deep ones coming back across. So the space that this guy just vacated after the motion, now he turns and tries to get some depth here, and then the corner rolling up and playing man right there kind of leaves all this space back there for you to run to. And that's what Florida's doing right there. So the motion, the shifting is for a reason, right? There's the safety. There's the corner. He's coming across into all this free space. Right? It's free real estate. Just wasn't able to quite hook it up there, but that's the idea. Get these guys to stay low with the play action and the coverage, right? He's going to stay low. And now get him over across, right? Tough to play. This is just a simple out and up. Florida has been running play action where they run curl a ton, and I think you see that on here later. But they run play action where it's just two guys running curls, right? It could be similar idea to two guys running out. You're just trying to win one-on-one, right? So throw a change-up in before you even run the out with the out and up. Right, they're thinking we're trying to get some easy completions here. Take a shot downfield. Good route by Pearsall. Good throw by Richardson. 3rd and 12. Orbit motion. You get a little mesh. This is something they struggled with last week. You had guys overrunning the mesh. You had guys not sitting down when they should. 3rd and 12, they break it out. Gets over the ball here. This is good stuff. Crossing. And as those guys cross, a lot of times it kind of opens up. Right, there's kind of a stretch that happens on both sides here. And this guy gets over the ball. So as these open up, it opens him up over the ball. Right here, you see it happen. He's coming down for that. He's coming across. Probably could have hit him too if you wanted to. But 3rd and 12, put it past the sticks and throw it away from the defenders, right? If that's intentional, that's a good sign. Throw it away from the defenders so the receiver can turn away from them. Really good stuff. 2nd and goal. I really like this play. It's just like wide zone with the back leading up. They pin and pull it later. I think it might be based on front. Like if I can reach it, we're just going to zone it. Like right here, I can reach him. I can reach that. Work up. He's coming inside. You have an extra one out there. You got this thing blocked up. Richardson doesn't get touched as he scores here. They have the same kind of look later than on his fumble. That if he would have done the same thing, he probably would have scored again. Early in the 3rd quarter here, watch this one from the back view. If they block this up, they might have a touchdown here. I think it's the same concept they ran against USF for the big on the first drive. We got this deep out. It's kind of a quarters beater. If he's eyes on number 2 here and plays that out, well, we're going to go post over the top over his head. With the play action fake, you see the play I'm getting. With this motion here, you see the play I'm getting. If I could just block it, if I could protect it for a little bit longer, wait to see the back view of this. This is a touchdown right here. Bang, play action. Thank you. He's here. He's up. He's out of the play. He's got eyes on 2. Watch as zipper breaks out. He's flat-footed. Well, there goes shorter to the post. And you're talking touchdown. The guy's grabbing his pants because he can't keep up here. Good route. Little hold. But if he's able to get that throw off, you got exactly what you wanted. The safety sat, right? This is just like Spurrier's old Mills play, except Spurrier has that guy run a dig, but it just holds him there, and then I get the post over the top. Just couldn't quite protect it, but, man, it was there. Jet, fake, curl, right? One we just talked about, right? Out and up, similar look. But they went out and up first. Here they just come back to the old curl flat. I put this one on here really for this back view. Watch Pearsall's route. It's just subtle movements back, and this defensive back is on skates. You see right there, right? First of all, great job. If I run right here, he's on me. I kind of inside stem, get myself even more leverage. Inside. Now I start to work vertical. Now I start to give a shoulder shake to go back outside. He's trying to turn, right, because he's got to play that. And then I just get him back on his toes, rip it off, and then ball away from this guy by Richardson. Really high-level stuff from both guys right there. Mesh again. Richardson drops it down here. This is good stuff to see. Right, same concept. It's almost like it helps when you run this stuff more than once, right? Sometimes it takes some game reps to get to this stuff. Same idea here. Forces step up in the pocket. He sees it there. You also see these guys are starting to widen. If maybe I had a clean pocket, I might have been able to hit here as well. But bang, drop it off. Nice first down. And you get a little penalty on it as well. Add that on. 1st and 10. A little bit of kind of a throwback here. I think I saw this when I went and saw spring practice. I think I saw them hit this one to Henderson. He scored like a long touchdown on a similar concept here. Tennessee defensive back looks like he's holding a little bit. We're really just trying to get all the action coming this way, bring him across. But then this is obviously, even Gary Danielson sees it here. That one probably would have been pretty easy money right there. If you don't like that one, drop it down to the back there. 3rd and 5, a little wrinkle here, a little wildcat. You got to start putting. I like the wrinkle, but I think the next wrinkle is becomes ETN. And then if they're not going to play jet, watch how they play jet here. If they're not going to play jet, I'll give this to ETN 100 miles an hour. Good luck, one-on-one. If your corner can make that play, good. Good for you. I don't think a lot of corners will make that play. So that would be kind of the next evolution of this I'd like to see. I like the and I think what it gives you, a bit of a single wing package. You're kind of running like duo here. But I think these guys, especially Montreal, they see it a little better than Richardson does in the run game. So if you want to get that +1 in the run game with a single wing look, this might be your best bet. But yeah, make that ETN, man. Make this guy tackle him in space. If you can do that, tip your cap. You're pretty good. All right, this is great. I love this right here. So teams have bunch checks a lot of times, where when teams getting a bunch set, so one guy here, number 2 guy here, number 3 guy here, that kind of triangle look. They've got a check to it. And now you got the back here is the 4th guy. They have specific checks. So by motioning to it, I motion to it here. I shift to it, then I motion to it. Now figure out your bunch check. Right? Get that done. And now I got the 4th for the back. It's got them all kind of discombobulated here. Easy conversion on 4th down. So I love that. Make them make their bunch check really quickly. Figure it out. Sort all these guys out right now. All right? Even with the blitz, Richardson does a great job getting the ball out of his hand. But watch this from the back view. So I thought this was interesting. He's going to push. Try to get these guys, if they play too hard over the top, he ends up kind of curling up here, and you probably could have hit him as well. Push, bang. So if these guys fly over the top and really play these two really well, bang, I got a curl right there over the ball, another curl right here, right? So I've got some options there. It wasn't just like a quick throw to the flat. Florida ends up scoring on that drive. Again, the motion, what does the motion do for me? Takes him out of the play. Now he's got to come downhill instead of being up in the box. Makes it easier to run. 4th and 2, right? So we saw earlier, I was watching this. I thought for sure they're just going to try to hit the out route to Pearsall. It's Y cross with a go there. I thought they were going to go out route to Pearsall. Hey, man, you like the one-on-one right here? They actually cover it pretty well. It had to be right on him. A pretty good throw. You like the one-on-one? Take a shot. I like it. Your coach put faith in you. He was aggressive. You be aggressive too, right? A good thing to see. Good ball, good catch, big 4th down conversion. But same play, or pretty similar play to one we saw earlier. Just kind of instead of the 3rd guy running across, right? We saw this one earlier. So now instead of the 3rd guy running across, he's just number 2 on the other side and gets to the same spot, right? The shallow ends up as the same spot as that does. 3rd and 4, they pin and pull it here, pick up the 1st down. I like it. This is what I was talking about right here. When you run split flow like this, split zone, right, look at the back door. That's where it's at a lot of times off this, especially when you motion to the back door side, right? There it is. Great cut by Naquan Wright. Picks up 9 yards there. And this one, man, just if he stays in it like he did the first couple, he probably walks in untouched. He's doing a good job working around. He sees this flash and doesn't think 65 is going to be there. He's there. If he just works horizontally here, you've got 3 guys leading up for you on 3 guys. I mean, look at this thing right now. If he's just right in 65's hip pocket, I mean, you've got a convoy to the end zone. So you probably score there. Instead, try to cut it back, fumble, get tackled by the throat. Probably doesn't feel great. Fumble. Not the deciding factor in the game, but didn't really help, right? There's too many times you went down, had put together good drives and didn't get points, whether it was missed field goals, missed 4th downs, fumble right there. I just put this on because he was working the single receiver side a lot, but you could work the concept over here too. That's the only reason I kind of put this one on, to see like what happens if you work the concept over here. And it's pivot, slot fade, out. So you got a kind of a flood look. And you see this out comes open. Now he's already had to pull the ball down here, so would it have mattered? I don't know. But just the idea of what's the concept up top. That's the concept right there. Here's the same one from earlier, right? The change up to if we're running these deep crossers so much and running post over the top and all that good stuff, right? We're running deep crossers. Well, now we're breaking them out, right? Again. And Richardson definitely takes the right one here. Last time he could have had either or. The corner kind of tries to bait him into throwing to Pearsall. Great job throwing it over the top to Shorter. You can see it here. Watch this as he bends in here. You get play inside from him. He's kind of working here. You see he's looking there, but he kind of realizes late, and he maybe been able to get under the throw of Pearsall. But both those guys win. Easy money, great throw down the field. Big play. All right, so they score on the run on 4th and 2, just a straight outside zone. So let's get a 2-point conversion play. First, you got the motion here. No movement really, so you're thinking zone. Just a high-low. You want to hit this thing right at the back of the end zone. Maybe could have waited a second longer for this one. Try to hit it back here. It's hard to hit this thing right over the top, but you get kind of what you want. Right here, you get both these guys there. If I could throw it back into this hole back here, that's obviously what I want. Instead of trying to squeeze it through there. Looked like you had the protection. Let that thing develop a little bit. Tough to fit in that window right there. So missed the first 2-point conversion. And that makes sense to me, right? You go for 2 because if you get it down to 9 and Tennessee goes down and scores, well, it's still a 2-score game. Right? If they score 7, which it certainly seemed like they would at that point in the game. Still a 2-score game. You missed it, though, and it comes back to bite you a little bit. But here's a look at we've been running those deep crossers, deep post, deep crossers over the top. Now we're going to sneak this one out the back door underneath. Got a good view of it here. Right. But it's really the same thing. Look at this. 2 crossers crossing. But he's going to break back to the corner. He's going to be flat, so get Gary Danielson's line off here. He's breaking back to the corner. He's breaking to the flat. Well, look at this. Would you look at that? You got a deep, a medium, and a short. It's a flood concept. Same one the quarterback's been looking at all day in different ways. So when you can package a lot of the stuff up to look the same, it helps the quarterback for sure. This is just a rocket throw right here. This is, if you still had doubts about Richardson's kind of ability to throw the football and kind of why, even after some struggles, the NFL guys are still saying he's the most physically talented guy in the draft. This is it. Kind of on the move here. Frozen rope between 3 guys. Pretty good stuff. 2nd and goal here. This is good stuff here. Motion makes this 4 strong. The motion brings him out. They're going to kind of hook up here, hook up there. So watch with the motion. Takes him out. But he gets ate up by number 3 here. All right, 3 receiver right there. Eats him up. He's widened with this. And now Pearsall just sits right in the hole, right? He's ate up with number 3. He's got widened by this motion. Stick it on him. Good concept there. 2-point conversion, just throwing slants. Looks like this one's on him. I thought the DB might have got there a little early. But this is one that, hey, this is not a bad throw here. You just got to make that play. You make that play, now you got a chance to kick a field goal to tie and go to overtime. But didn't work. But I thought you had a pretty good plan from Florida here the other night. Defensively, obviously, there's some issues. But offensively, it's always good to see a nice plan. Especially after the previous 2 weeks where There were obviously some struggles. I think looking back at USF, they went a little bit vanilla, and probably for reasons, right? You're coming out here against a big game on the road. You want to have some stuff in your back pocket probably. But much better from the offense. Defense obviously still has issues, but I think this is a positive step going forward, kind of showing the offense is a little bit more like the Utah game than the Kentucky game. So that's always good to see, especially on the road in conference play. Once again, that awesome Star Wars wipe means we are at the end of the video. If you like what you saw, if you want to see more college football schematic-related content, please subscribe. We should be putting something out every week, hopefully during the season. Just whatever teams are trending or kind of what interesting scheme stuff. If you want to watch older videos, there should be a link at the top of the page here. And you can follow me on Twitter at Seth Varnadore. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.